How you doing? My name is Craig Ackman with Drop Dead Pest Control. Done the inspection here today at 2800 North Britton Road in Irving, Texas 75062. I've done a very thorough and detailed inspection. I found a lot of different bugs that are dead inside the house, different beetles, different types of spiders. In regards to what the main concern of this is the wood destroying inspection, I found no live carpenter ants, I found no live subterranean termites, no Formosan termites, no wood boring beetles that would be in the wood paneling inside of this home. So as far as the wood destroying insects are concerned, we're in good shape. On the outside of the house, what I've got written up on the report, some of the rose bushes are touching the house, part of the tree is touching the house, part of the bush is touching the house. It's been maintained, just needs a little bit of trim work, the minimal amount for it to not touch the house. And that will eliminate the conditions that we have for termites and carpenter ant infestation. What I have found inside the house, though, as a bonus with yellow hat inspection, is that I have found live brown recluse spiders inside the house in various different areas that they like to hide, underneath the desk, for example, in the bathroom. There are also wolf spiders that are alive, and there are spiders that are dead. So there's been some type of pest control done at one point in time or another. But the fire ants are getting into the structure in a multitude of areas around the house that I have noted on every side of the house. So my recommendation is to at least have general pest control treatment done. If you have any questions, you can contact me at 972-359-0803. Craig Ackman, Drop Dead Pest Control. Thank you very much.
This is a sewer cam. We've just been under the house with it. There's the clear out, and we found that going towards the city tap, we have roots in the pipe, and going towards the house, it's difficult to make a turn, which also means it will be very difficult to put an auger down there to clear it. So overall, the condition of the sewer is suspect. One of the most difficult assessments a home inspector has to make is whether or not the foundation is in good condition and doing its job. Well, the reason that is because we don't measure it routinely. But here's a system that we use at Yellow Hat, and enables you to measure the level of the foundation. We routinely do it. You have to pay for it, of course, but it's something we really encourage you to do. And in this process, we will establish the level of the foundation. Here we're just about to level the meter. We're actually at the front. See here, we've got a reading. We're going to zero it, and then we're going to go and do the measurements. Okay, so we're ready now to measure the level of this foundation. We have hot cold reverse here. This is the hot, it should be the cold, been reversed. The return here has a temperature of 64, varies between 62 and 64 over it, and this is one of the registers, but I've been around all of them. It's registering 42, 43, 41. Yeah, so we've got a good drop there, 22 degrees. Let's go and have a look at the unit outside. We've inspected the one downstairs. as we leave the garage in this house of hazards. I'll tell you what, I don't come across a fire hazard like that cooktop on every inspection, I'm pleased to say. Okay, here we are at the conditioning unit. It's not level, it should be. Here are aluminum, the others are copper, but that means we have aluminum in probably one of the worst areas we'd want it. These two are aluminum. See, the feeders are copper, they're all copper, but these are not. I mean, this should be rewired, it shouldn't be left like this. Aluminum is not very good as a household wiring because it is prone to a build-up of resistance in it, causes it to overheat. This is the wiring to the cooktop, and move the camera in a bit closer. You can see here one of the wire nuts is completely burnt out. This is unusable, it's dangerous. It's an incorrect connection. I can't tell at this moment whether it's copper or aluminum, but the wiring from the main supply is aluminum, so I'm rather suspecting that this is an aluminum connection. Yes, it is aluminum. Yeah, highly dangerous. Wow, not good at all. We got open wiring under the cooktop. Can't see it very well because it's not got a light, but if I take a flex photograph you will see it all. This is the wiring which is above the cooktop, and you can see from the video appalling condition it's in. This is really a danger. That's got to be repaired, fixed by a certified electrician. Okay, so there's no GFCI protection to the garage or exterior light outlets, so that's got to be corrected because that makes it pretty dangerous. There's no power in the outlets anywhere in this room. All the power's out. The outlet at these built-in cupboards here is not working. No power to it. This is the electrical controller outlet. That's for the bath, the tub itself. I turn it on. Hear it running. I trip it. No, it doesn't turn it off. Okay, so that's not isolating that. It should do. The reason it's not working is that it's incorrectly installed. You see you've got light here, red light, and what that tells me is that we have a hot neutral reverse, so dangerous. We have a wood burning stove here, or fireplace. Sign of a water leak. We're in the bathroom, in the commode, above the commode. Ceiling here has had a water leak into the ceiling. Okay, some of these doors are misaligned, not much, but just a little bit. Indicates that there is a little bit of foundation movement, but we've not found any sheetrock cracks in the main building, although I found quite a lot in the garage. Okay, this is incorrectly wired. You've got two lights where you've got one, two, three, four lights. They're all jerry-rigged from the fitting here. You've got your chandeliers, and then above it you've got these lights here. This is not acceptable. That's got to be wired incorrectly and not using extension cords. This is the water heater. It was installed in '97. I'm not actually going to touch it. I'll tell you why. This is in really, really bad condition. You've got a lot of debris from the attic that's come down on top of it. It's gathered around the vent hood. The vent hood's incorrectly installed. The temperature pressure relief valve drain line is incorrectly installed. It doesn't have a safety pan, and it should do, and there's no sediment trap on the unit itself. So I'm condemning this out of hand. I'm not going to fiddle with it. I'll tell you why. I've taken these off in the past and it's sprung a leak, and then I'm in a row with the people selling it, saying that I caused the leak. I didn't cause the leak, the crummy unit caused the leak, but I'm not prepared to put myself at risk of that argument ever again. The cupboard that it's in is really bad. It actually has vents at the top here, and it has vents at the bottom, but I can tell you it's overheating. It's too hot in here, and it's going to be drawing air from inside the house. It's got an undercut door. In addition to being able to draw air, under certain conditions, flue gases can get out of here. They can contain carbon monoxide, and that can get into the house. Flexible gas supply line is missing a sediment trap. That should have been installed when this equipment was recently installed. Insulation around the plenum is in poor condition. It's not sealed properly. It's going to leak a lot of cold air into the attic. It's also going to draw dirty air from the attic into the system. This is the primary drain line running along here, and it's going into what effectively looks like a vent. I think that's going to go to the venting system, which means it's going to the sewer system, which is incorrect. And they've abandoned a heat exchanger here from when the unit was installed. See, it's just here left in the attic. Okay, relatively new air conditioning unit. It doesn't have any bonding. It should do. Obviously, it was installed without a permit. This is the extractor for the kitchen, and you can see it's not actually sealed, so it's actually going to be extracting and pouring all the damp and grease into the attic, not actually putting it outside the building. We have exposed outlet here. This should be covered, not left like that. That can cause an electrocution. You have power cables running over the service boards. They could become crushed and damaged, and then that can lead to electrocution. They should all be covered. Left as they are at the moment, they represent a really serious hazard to people's health. The door and ladder to the attic is in very dangerous condition. You can see here it doesn't actually hit the ground properly. Here it's buckled, damaged. This in fact could easily collapse under the weight of somebody, so I'm going to be very careful in going up here, as I must, to inspect the upper attic. This is the attic entrance, you can see with my flashlight, should be sealed. There should not be a gap here allowing air to penetrate into the attic. If you do have that, what can happen is gasoline or even a fire can now spread into the attic very quickly. This door here is incorrect. It doesn't have self-closing hinges, and it's not a solid core door, which means it's not a fire door. So that's got to be changed. It's got to be a fire door, can't be anything else. Otherwise you're going to have a fire in the house and you won't be able to get out. That's got to be converted to seal it to a much better fitting door, and overall that will improve the safety of this house considerably. Overall the roof is in average good condition. As I say, I can't tell you its age, but it certainly looks as if it's recently put on, say in the last 5, maybe 8 years. I say, but that's all I can tell you at the moment. Perhaps the previous owners will be able to tell you. Penetrations of the roof. Difficult to tell you what the age of the roof is. Generally on the front slope it's in okay condition. No signs of any damage from wind or hail. Moving up to the chimney. Chimney doesn't have a chimney cap and the coping's in really poor condition. Now here's the issue. When you don't have a chimney cap, what it actually means is that you can get water down here, and water mixes with the acidity of the smoke, and that can damage the column. I'm going to recommend that you have this actually inspected from inside by a chimney sweep, just to make sure you're not buying a pig in a poke here, because this could be an expensive fix. The solution is very easy. What we need to have happen is a steel liner is put down inside that will become the flue. On the top we repair the coping, and then we put a chimney cap on, and that will make it secure and safe going forward. See here at the station we've got the roots that are coming around the foundation. What you do in a situation like this is you dig a trench, you trench around the tree in this area, and you put a root barrier in. Here we have a clear out, and we have another hose pipe. Hose bib is in poor condition, not sealed. That's going to freeze, and it doesn't have an anti-freeze. There's some big trees in the front yard. These trees common in these parts of the world. However, the tree roots commonly invade the area underneath the foundation and can cause and enter the sewer system and cause blockages to that system. Again, we're now on the left elevation. We've got a differential crack running down the wall to the foundation. We're on the left elevation, I just said, but we've also got very poor caulking at the windows and some very poor pointing of the brickwork here. Looks like that's been replaced at some point and an amateur job's been carried out. There's something going on here, and maybe the sprinkler system. This brickwork is stained from water. We got this box here. It's moved because of the movement of the building. The conduit has moved, and you can see here the conduit is coming apart from the actual electrical box itself. I recommend there's some repair work carried out on that. It's sealed and fixed. We have a crack in the wall running up to here. Some cracks in the foundation here. This one's opened up. It's about, as you can see, about 1/4 of an inch, and inside we've got a little bit of a crack in a tile. Another crack here, and what's actually happening here, this is the patio. You can see it's breaking up, and it's also moving away from the building. Originally it had been quite close up. Another differential crack at the rear elevation, and we have a loose soldier brick here. Again, we've got a problem with lights. These lights really must be protected from water. That makes them really dangerous. This is an unprotected outlet. Should have a bubble cover on it, and actually we've got a hole in the back here. It's going to allow water in. That's in pretty good. In the rear here, now we can see it very clearly. Lots of rot along here, considerable amount. Here it's sprung. There's holes here that's going to allow rats and vermin into the attic. We have rotten trim work here. Water has actually got in there, it's rotted it. We've now got a hole. We must now assume that there's rot all the way along here. You can see we have a sprung soffit here, and we have rot to the soffit there. So we have a lot of water penetration. You can see here the garage door and the wall are separating. That needs to be caulked. You can get water in there. But again, it's the foundation. We're at the rear elevation, again for soffit ventilation. Here we've got a trim board, it's sprung. That's due to foundation movement. We have another crack here, differential crack. So it's settling in this whole area here, and it's affecting the veneer wall. Differential settlement here, you can see this crack here running down the wall. It's making its way down to the foundation here at the bottom. And we have a cold joint here. Actually no, that is a piece of the reinforcement, that's the rebar. So this is a rebar foundation, not a post tension cable. And it's spalled there, so it's exposed the rebar. This type of movement is common. It's due to the expansive soils we have in this region. Post bib, and there's no anti-freeze on it. In addition to that, it doesn't have any anti-siphon on it. And this all here is going to freeze in the winter. You'll get a broken pipe. Again, we've still got insufficient ventilation, soffit ventilation. Here we got a electrical isolator. It's not corked around the back here. It should be. At the right elevation, as I suspected, the corking's in very poor condition. Recork every window around this house if you want it to be energy. We're now at the front right. You've got a downpipe from the roof drainage, the gutters, emptying right next to the foundation. Generally, the area, the actual grading around the building is poor. It should slope away. It doesn't. These flower beds trap water at the foundation. They can cause problems. You solve that by putting holes in the bottom so it drains. But there's very little you could do about the grading. It's an as-is. There's security bars on the front windows. It stops me looking at the corking. I'm going to assume that that corking is in need of repair. Most buildings of this age have that problem. Yeah, there's holes in the corking. So you've got to assume that you're going to have to recork all the windows. Soffit vents. Yeah, insufficient soffit vents. Want to add more soffit vents. electrical fittings, they're not corked, they should be, because water can get in behind there, energise this whole wall.